Hello, I'm going to walk through this movie trailer project I finished a while ago. This project is a Python programming project. When you code it in Python and execute the Python file, it's supposed to generate a HTML file and open up that HTML file in your default browser as a web page, something like you're seeing on my desktop. It's pretty simple. It contains a list of movies, and each movie will have its post art and its title. And if you're interested in any of these movies, click on one of them. It will pop up a window to show you the YouTube trailer of that specific movie, just like this one. And when you are done with the trailer, you can either click the close or click somewhere else other than the trailer pop-up window. This will bring us back to the main page, just like that. So as I said, this is a Python programming project. It contains 3 different Python files: the media, the fresh tomatoes, and the entertainment center. So we'll go through each of them. So let's start with media. The media is a very simple and short code. It simply defines a class called movie. So a class is just a data structure that we use in OOP, object-oriented programming, to define how the data structure should look like for a certain instance. In this case, I defined the movies. Each movie should have 3 variables: the title, the art URL, and the trailer URL. So that's the class movie, which we can use later when we need it. And now what we're looking at is this is something called entertainment center.py, which is our main program. This is where the program is executed, and it will call everything else. So in the entertainment center.py file, I imported media because I need to use this movie class. And then I imported freshtomatoes.py, which is where the template and the functions stored for that web page. And down here, I have a list of movies. These are the core data of that page. So what movies we're interested in and what are the specific data for each movie. So for example, here is Finding Dory. This is a movie with a title that's called Finding Dory, and this is the art URL for that movie, and this is the YouTube trailer URL for that movie. And I have a list of them. Once this is coded in, then I put all the movies in a list called movies. Then I pass this movies list into this function called open movies page in Fresh Tomatoes file. Let's take a look at this Fresh Tomatoes Python file. Alright, so here is the Fresh Tomatoes Python file. We imported a web browser so that we can talk to, the web browser. And then when we import OS, this allows us to communicate with local files on my computer. You can open and write it. And then we import RE, which is regular expression. And down here, there's a variable called main-page-head. This is just a long string defining the head part of the HTML file we're going to create. So in the head, we define the meta, we define the title, we define the style sheet, we use Bootstrap, so the web page will be responsive to different size of screens, and we import jQuery to add functions to that page. And down here, there's some fine-tuning of the styles of each element on that web page. As I said, this is a Python programming project, so this is kind of hard-coded into the head instead of independent CSS file. And down here is a section called script. This is adding the functions to the page. As I just showed you a minute ago, this is how we enable the functions. Like when you click on a movie, it will pop up the trailer window, and when you click on the close trailer window, you will return to the main page. These are all the jQuery functions that we added to that web page. Okay, so that's a head. It's just a long string that defines some specifics of that web page. And down here, we have another variable called main page content. This is another long string that defines the content of that main page. It starts with some framework that kind of lay out the big body frame. And down here is a div that we're going to use to host all the movies we're going to put in there. And as you can see that right now it's a placeholder called movie titles in this div, because this is a template. We don't know what specific movie we're going to put in yet. And down here, there's another string that's called movie title content. This is a template for generating the HTML element for each specific movie. So each movie should be in a div, and each div should has this attribute called data trailer YouTube ID, which is the specific YouTube ID for that specific movie. And for each div, we're going to include a post image of that movie. Again, the source of that image will be defined for each of the movie individually, and then it should contain the title of the movie. And down here, we have two functions. One is called create movie titles content. The other is called open movies page. The open movies page is what we called in the entertainment-center.py file at the end. So let's look at the first one, create movie titles content function. In this function, we create an empty string called content, and then using an enhanced for loop, we iterate through the long list of movies. And for each specific movie, we extract its YouTube ID, and we use that YouTube ID and the title of the movie and the post image URL of that movie and the template to create the specific HTML code for that specific movie. So as if you still remember, this is a template which has placeholders for the YouTube ID, the source of the image, and the movie title. And down here, we simply defines all that variables with specific values. And for each movie, we just stack them all together, use this plus equal sign. We kind of concat one movie after another in HTML format. At the end, this function will give us a long string that is the long list of a movie we pass in for it to display in that web page. And down here, when we run the open movies page function, what it does, it will first open the fresh tomatoes.html file in the local computer, and then you will generate the specific main page content HTML string using this create movie title content function, because remember here that we have these movie titles as a placeholder. It needs specific data to be fit in to be specific. Alright, so that will be the main page content long string. When we have that, we can concat it with the main page head HTML. That will be the entire HTML code for that web page, and we write that long string into the freshtomatoes.html file, and we close it. Then we open up the HTML file in the default browser, and if the browser allows a new tab function, a new tab feature, then you will open that web page in a new tab. And here is how it goes. If we execute this entertainmentcenter.py file, what it does, you will just go through everything, create the movies, and generate HTML, and then pop it up in your browser. Alright, that's the project.